This is IGN.
A critic and his two kids walk into a Zootopia 2 screening. This is your IGN review of Zootopia 2 by Clint Gage. The first ever Bunny-Fox partnership in ZPD history is back on the case for Zootopia 2, once again attempting to tackle systemic injustice, greed, corruption, and facing one's own personal shortcomings. So, of course, I brought my children with me to see what they thought. Zootopia 2 picks up pretty much where the 2016 original left off, with the ambitious bunny from the sticks, Judy Hopps, played by Jennifer Goodwin, and the streetwise con fox Nick Wilde, played by Jason Bateman, basking in the success of cracking their first major case and on the lookout for their next one. When they stumble onto the presence of the first snake in Zootopia in decades, the duo cross paths with returning favorites and a host of new mammals as they, and you'll never believe this, uncover more than they bargained for. Now, reviewing what are ostensibly kids' movies is kind of tricky. On the one hand, I've got a film critic hat and I like to wear it. But on the other hand, it's easy to say it's a kids' movie. On the surface, Zootopia 2 is a bunch of cartoon animals solving crime and making jokes and learning to love and appreciate each other. But lurking beyond that silliness is a seedy underbelly of social criticism that deserves to be taken seriously. And that is why I was determined to bring my kids with me to the press screening so they could weigh in whenever my film critic hat got a little too tight. For example, I would say the look of the film is gorgeous. The animation style is the same colorful palette as the first Zootopia, but new terrains and more ambitious lighting gave the animators a chance to really flex 10 years worth of technological development. Like the first film, Zootopia 2 dives headlong into some pretty weighty issues. Racism and prejudice are at the forefront of this movie again, this time with the added layer of generational theft. The sequel introduces an obviously nefarious family of lynx that have for decades held a corrupt grip on the city, an exiled snake trying to restore his good name, and a former movie star horse-turned-mayor voiced by the always welcome baritone of Patrick Warburton. These new characters and the voice actors portraying them, respectively Ke Kwan, David Strathairn, and Andy Samberg in particular, are a blast, even though the film didn't leave much room for returning supporting characters, like my wife's favorite, the irrepressibly dim-witted, donut-loving Cheetah Clawhauser, played by Nate Torrance. While these new characters are all well drawn and fit right into the natural and empathetic performances of the returning cast, they don't necessarily cast new light on the topics the writers are illuminating again. With a smorgasbord of social issues like corruption, systemic prejudice, cultural erasure, old lies becoming the current truth, and even the unfair pressure on a trailblazer to be perfect lest she ruin opportunities for those wanting to follow in her paw prints, Zootopia 2 might be trying to wrangle a few too many important topics into its menagerie. There is so much happening in this movie that certain moments feel like it's just kind of pointing at these issues rather than engaging with any one of them in a thorough way. So maybe Zootopia 2 doesn't mind the complete depths of the issues it raises about our society, and maybe it oversimplifies the answers in the interests of tying the story up in a neat little kid-friendly boa constrictor, but it asks important questions that are worth talking about. And based on the reactions my kids had and the conversations we had after the movie, all the right feelings got through. Empathy and compassion and fairness are never a bad thing, and Zootopia 2 found a way to get all of them, I guess, to resonate with my kids. Zootopia 2 brings all the same animated whodunit action and clever animal jokes as the 2016 version, with a welcome new cast of allies and villains for our mismatched heroes Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. The look of the sequel builds off the vibrant world of the original, and while thematically the movie may bite off more than it can chew, Zootopia 2, like its bunny cop hero, shares a contagious hope that things can always change. Also, even though I'm really starting to get tired of characters watching YouTube videos as a delivery method for important narrative information, they call it YouTube, like sheep, which is just a real solid pun. Zootopia 2's IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on Zootopia 2, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.